What's up everybody, Junny here. We're going to go over my favorite technique, one of my favorite techniques, or the way I like to pass. I like to knee cut, and so we're going to go over that, just kind of a basic entry. Again, if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. And if you're going to like this technique, it's more detailed explanation in my passing instructionals and my new knee cut instructional that will be out very shortly at BJJ Fanatics. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the knee cut. Okay, very misunderstood in my opinion. Okay, I see everywhere I go, I see people doing knee cuts, but they're not really clean, and it's just not gonna work if you don't do it the right way. Okay, so this is what I see in the gym. Essentially, you go like this. I go to the side, I go underhook, and then I slide out, and I get to here. And yeah, it looks okay. We get the motions of kind of going to the knee cut and getting a pass. But I want you to look at these structures, right? Like he has structures on him. He has a shin over here. I'm off centered. I can't really get it. When I get an underhook, I'll slide out, and then I'll end up like this in reality. Okay, so a lot of people, sometimes it's drilling lazy, and then sometimes it's just the way they do the technique. When I look at a knee cut, I look at the tensions that are needed to be in there, and I also look at level changes. Okay, so if he's seated and I wanted to do a knee cut, I would have to be like really low in a level change to be able to get to him. But because he's on his back, right, I still want to be able to level change, but I want to be able to control. Okay, now I want to pinch his ankles downward, right, to take away his knee from his rib cage, so his hip flexor takes a lot of it. And if you've seen my other videos, if the feet have eyes, it's much easier for him to keep that pressure and tension up. I want the opposite. Okay, now we'll push on the ankles and we'll keep that tension. And what happens is a lot of people, they just push the legs in, and you're doing them a favor. I want to push them down and away, right? So especially when I want to do knee cut, I need to look at the tension. Okay, something needs to go on his hip flexor to keep that open so that he can't use his knee shield. Okay, so if it's done right, you'll get a really clean knee cut. Okay, so I'm here, I put pressure, I get and lean in with my pressure. Okay, so I'm going inside, right? So I go one frame. You cannot frame on the side too much unless you're clean with like how much pressure you apply. It's better for you to pressure, catch, okay, walk in. All right. Now, when I walk in, doesn't matter if my foot's over his leg or it's in between. That's fine. I want to make sure that I get to here, where I do this counter tension, where I lean in. This is fake because my weight's on my feet and it's harder for me to get closer to him. When I want this to really work, I have to lean my forearm into his hip flexor and push his knee down so I can walk in. Then once my shin replaces where the hand was, I can use my foot, okay, to frame into my knee, into my own knee, into his hip flexor. And then I can lean forward. I also need to make sure that this shoulder is above this knee, which means it has to be a little bit above the knee line so that he can't do a lasso. See there? He can't do like the lasso what everybody likes to do. Or he can't point it in, right? It should be very hard for him to point it in if it's really deep. So I lean forward, my chest here, he frames on me, I catch it. Now, I drive my knee to the mat, okay? And if you see it, it's just my knee to the mat. I'm not gonna slide out right now. I'm gonna keep it here. I'm gonna pressure into his hip flexor until there's just a give. And then I'm just gonna square up into his hip. I'm gonna catch the armpit. I'm gonna pull my own forearm on top of my thigh. And we get a nice clean pass for you. Okay, of course, like you're fighting, it becomes a little bit more difficult, but the tensions that you need are always gonna be there. Even whether I start from square or I go to knee shield and square up, it's still the same, that the tensions have to apply. Okay, so framing here, catching, weight inside here, foot, knee. This foot is gonna pinch and push into the hip flexor, but we don't want it wide enough where he can take out and do key master. Okay, so come back. I want to make sure that my knee's kind of in line with my knee and hip, but it's in a little bit, internally rotated a little bit, but it has enough base so flat I still can use the side of my toes, the side of my foot. Okay, here into my hip flexor. Make sure it's not like this. This is relaxed, you're never gonna get it. You have to be like tensioned up. So my forearms tension, my pecs tension, my triceps tension right now. Everything's nice and tight. Frame, he's gonna frame on me, I'm gonna use his own lever against him, okay? So I pull it up, okay? Whether it's here or whether it's around, it's fine. Either one's okay. Drop the knee down, and then I'm just gonna lean into the hip flex a little bit. He might move a little bit, and it'll help me out. And then I drop, I get in here. So, again, one more time. Here, boom, frame, here, okay? This is where you make or break it, because if you're too far, it won't work. If you're not putting the pressure, it won't work. But he should feel freaking out right now. And then I get into here, and then I catch inside, right? Drop the knee down, lean into the hip flexor, stretch his hip flexor out, and go. You know you're doing it right, because once I stretch him out, if I'm leaning into his hip flexor correct, it doesn't matter how strong he is, this hip flexor will give out, right? He'll end up dropping his foot, and then you'll get a clean pass, right? And then we drop the knee by the hip line, and we do a half a circle. So it never you can still cut out this way, but I prefer to drop my weight and be patient and get here, and then into his hip line. So there's something actually into his hip bone when we pass, okay? So when you're looking at a knee cut, what do you need? You need control. You want the hip flexors away. You want to tension it up, right? On the hip flexor, one on the knee. Then you want to get into the knee cut position, but your shoulder a little bit above his hip line, so he can't do the lasso or the knee shield, tensioning up. One foot into your knee, into your own knee, into your forearm that's going into his hip flexor, and then he's for sure gonna post. We're gonna take advantage of that post, and then we're gonna go right to the pass. Now, this is just for reference. If I was in reverse del hiva, okay, and I have my forearm here, I can easily pop off the hook, right? So I pop off the hook and I can step in, right? Whether it's here in, or maybe I just got inside and it's like a knee shield position, okay? Anytime you're there, you can always get back to square. As soon as my forearm comes back in, it's the same thing that applies. Always like this. So like this is what I call a blueprint knee cut. Very basic knee cut, but very detailed. Tension, 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 tension into the hip flexor, waiting for his reaction, right? Catching his reaction, dropping knee, pressure, get into the pass. So, taking a knee cut that I think people mess up on all the time, and actually adding real tension and high level details to it, something basic, but it should work at a hobbyist level to a high level.